Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Although it's been a bit of a miserable summer is still upon us, and today we're going to take you through our top tips to keep you going until we get that cooler weather and we can get back to regular canny crossing again. So stick around to hear our top summer running tips. So why do we need to change anything when we get into these summer months? It seems obvious when you know, but until you know, you don't know. As the temperatures rise, running gets very difficult for our dogs, and we want to try and avoid really critical things such as overheating. And when they're working in a canicross harness in warm temperatures, it can be quite dangerous for them, and we are putting them at risk of heat stroke. So we're doing things a little differently in the summer. We are helping them out and keeping our best running mates nice and safe. So what sort of temperatures are too hot? Well, unfortunately, there is no black and white answer to this. See what I did there? It very much depends on your dog and where you call home. For us in the south of the UK, we're generally in the winter months training in 5 to 10 degrees, and Dizzy being short-haired and mostly white, and a Dalmatian. Dalmatians are bred to be very strong summer runners. We can generally push his harness work probably to about 16 degrees. When we first started running in the summer, I capped that at 14 degrees. Dizzy is now in his 4th summer of running with me, and he's built up a tolerance to the heat. So we've now managed to pop that up a few degrees if we want to do sessions. But we have friends who live and train in exactly the same locations with double coated dogs or different breeds that don't do well above 10. We've got friends who live and train in the north of Scotland who train -5 to 5 degrees. As soon as it hits 8 or 9, their dogs start to feel it. There's quite a well documented case of people running huskies in the Arctic Circle, used to training in -30, and dogs overheating at -10 degrees. So it is completely individual. So it's really, really important to have a strong bond and know your dog. If in doubt, take it easy. So if we are going to run in the summer months, how should we prepare? Key to this is going to be, firstly, hydration. If it's going to be warm and your dog's used to doing it, some people will hydrate their dogs pre-run. Whether that is in the immediate hour or so before you run, through drinks or flavoured water, or even how you've floated their food or something, or added water to their food. We don't do that. So it is very, very important to be able to carry water or bring water on the run for you and your dog. Whether that is using hydration vests, kind of like I wear my backpack every time me and Dizzy are out on our own. You don't need it when you're racing because everyone's around, but when we're out on our own, we always wear a backpack and I've always got water in there for him. Or if you're doing laps of a forest route, stash some water bottles at some points along the route so you can have a stop, have a drink, work out how your dog takes water. Dizzy won't take from like a hose, a bladdery hose. He kind of will from a bowl, but he likes to just drink it before it hits the bowl. So there's no point in me bringing a bowl. He just drinks it straight from the bottle. But if yours takes from a bowl, then make sure you carry one of those collapsible water bowls. Yeah, just a bit of trial and error. Work out how your dog takes their water. Then post-run, we are gonna get some nice rehydration back into them. There are loads of different kinds of drinks that you can have, all slightly different, whether they are sold in a liquid form or come from a powder that you mix and then shake. Loads of different brands to have a little try out. And if that's not for you, good old-fashioned water. But getting something back in after a run is going to be really, really important. The other crucial factor in getting safe, fun summer running together is going to be your location. You will see from this run, as we burst out into the sunshine, we have, this is getting nuts, we have a variety of sort of, well, terrain, I guess you'd call it. In the forest is great because we get the shade and shelter from direct sunlight, which obviously brings the temperature right down. However, it is always a really good idea to mix it up with a little bit of open land if you can, because the forest hangs on to that heat sometimes, gets a little bit humid. So just by changing and bursting out into the open, yeah, you get a bit of sunlight, but if it's only for a short period and you're early, it's not too bad, and you've got some air moving that the dogs can get across their tongue. Locations with rivers or pools or anything for them to have a splash along the way is going to be perfect as well. We quite like running through some long grass early morning. As Dizzy picks up all the dew onto his belly and cools him down that way. So finding a nice summer location to run is going to be ideal. And the final thing to think about for a great summer run is going to be the time that you go. We want to avoid the hottest parts of the day, which is generally going to be mid to late morning, obviously afternoon, and even the evenings are not necessarily that cool, as the day tends to hang on to the heat a little bit. So up, out, bright and early. Peggy o'clock is it's now called in this house. She's up with the sun. It's going to be brilliant. You get nice cool grass to run on. Added bonus, no one's about. So try and get out early, get your run in, and beat the heat. So the next thing to think about is going to be harness or no harness for your runs. Some teams in the summer will do what they call a harness break, give the dogs a rest from the hard work, and it kind of naturally happens with summer weather where it's too hot for them. In that case, the dogs then tend to, as Dizzy's doing today, run free. Now when they're not working hard pulling us, free running is much easier going for the dogs. Therefore, the temperatures that you can work in go up a little bit. You've still got to be careful of all the other things that we mentioned, but because it's a much easier thing to do for them. We can generally free run, a little bit warmer, and you can do your base building for the Canicross season. Now, we don't actually have a proper harness break. We will still get into harness once, maybe twice a week. So how do you structure those sessions that you are going to be working in a harness for? Well, generally, apart from all of the previous things, location being a really important one, to have splash and water breaks in between bursts of Canicross, the distance that you are running is going to be the main critical factor. Now, generally in the summer, in the heat, we're going to have to shorten those sessions. So rather than longer efforts, 3-5k flat out, we will break them up into much shorter reps. Yesterday we did our first little session back after I'd had an illness. We did 4x400 meters, and that was it. Great fun, really good session in the heat. So things like 500 meters, 1Ks, trying to build through reps until you get to a water break rather than hanging on is going to be really good ideas as well. It's going to be so important to know your dog really well at this point, because you need to spot when it is getting warm. Spot. All coming out today, but you need to be able to recognise when it's getting really warm for them and potentially either back off, stop the session, or shorten. So the main top tip that keeps reoccurring throughout thinking about our summer running is just to know your dog. I would encourage you definitely not to shy away from summer running just because you think it's going to be too risky. Get out, get to know your dog, be sensible. Shorter is always better. End on a positive, set the dog up to succeed. So as we head back into the forest, and I promise it is summer, just summer in the UK. Remember, if you like the videos, then don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe away to the channel. If you're an experienced summer runner with your dog and you've got any other tips that we haven't mentioned or want to expand on any of the things that I mentioned, then get down in the comments, let us know. Help some of the people who are discovering this video and finding out about how to run in the summer with their dogs know how to do it and benefit from your experience. If you've not caught our latest video, which is introducing our newest, most exciting series and our newest, craziest member, Peggy, and how we're going to take her from being a 3-month-old puppy through to a Canicross superstar by the time we get round to Easter. And you want to follow our journey, then make sure you go watch that video, smash the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you get notified when we put stuff up about it. Hope you're doing well over these summer months and you're getting out and enjoying some nice weather to run in with your dog, and that these tips may be of some use. And me and Dizzy will see you in the next one.